my darling Fumi Nation. How are you? How are we? Oh, baby, it is so nice to be back home in New York City. I am living and loving. A lot of you kept on asking me, Fumi, are you not cold? Are you not cold? Europe is even colder. I lived in Norway for 5 years, and when I tell you, you could throw boiling water into the air and it would come down as ice. So I'm used to it. I absolutely live and love. I cannot wait to see all of you today, tomorrow, the day after. I am here for the Harlem Beautiful Arts Festival, and we are going to have it for 3 days. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday as well. I'm going to put it up for you to see. There you go. The Harlem Fine Arts Show. Buy your tickets, and those of you that buy VIP tickets, you get to take pictures with me, kiki with you. I actually live and love this because no pressure on me. I'm just going to be here and I'm just kikiing with everybody, and none other than my fabulous, fabulous, most beautiful Fumi Nation. So, my darlings, how are you? How are we? Let me just get into the comments, and I cannot wait. Hello, my darlings. Who wants to be a moderator? Yes, who wants to be a moderator? Let me know, and I will let you be a moderator. I am going to be going live for the next 4 or 5 days while I am here because I want to stay connected to you guys, and there is so much happening. There is so much happening that I truly just do not have the time to be filming as well as editing. I film everything, I edit everything myself, and that's just not the case because I'm working, so I'm multitasking, but I'm living and loving. The Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively saga keeps on going. And I said to myself, upon reflection, when I look at all of this, it occurred to me a lot of things have been going on in Hollywood. A lot of things have been going on with celebrities for years, to the point they're desensitized, they are tone deaf, and they are, because they are protected with the PR machine, they are also cocooned. And when you are cocooned, you really just don't have any bearing of what's going on around you because you never pay for what you do. For the consequences that you've created, you don't pay for them because you've got enough money to shoo them away, to pay them away. And as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Blake Lively and to Blake Lively and to Ryan, they have been doing this for years. When Gossip Girl was Gossip Girl, it was the biggest show. Ryan was doing his thing and they thought they were untouchable. You see, what they've done to Justin Baldoni is not the first time. Not the first time. But it's the first time that it has poofed into their face. And I believe, allegedly, that Blake, Plantation Princess, Plantation Khaleesi, she actually mastered this. Who were the ones that were weak, that were vulnerable, that were small? Let's look at this in a big, grand scheme of things before I get into this. It was those that were missing something, those that needed something. That was where she made sure that she played her part. And so, she's not talented because I tell you right here and now that there are many actors out there who cannot do an entire scene without having takes. Whitney Houston was somebody who could sing the whole song and she'll go shopping. Whereas you would have another artist who would be in the recording studio for a month, just try to finish that song. They had mastered the art on preying onto the weak. Yeah? Alrighty. So here we have, because remember that she had amended her complaint And then, of course, Justin Baldoni and his fabulous lawyer blew it out of the water because they came out here in these streets and they just threw up the website. So everything that was missing, all the emails, all the little messages that they hand-fed and gave to New York, to the New York papers, we now realized from his end that there was so much missing because they had done this before. They have friends in certain places, again, to make things shoo-wee-wee. While I'm on the subject, that was why they thought that they could go to, go out onto the red carpet, by the way, SNL, and think that everything was okay. And I am saying this allegedly. Once I saw her on the red carpet, and I said it in my last episode, I for the first time, because I was out in Hollywood for 10 years. I was on the set, whether I had a lead, whether I was an extra, whether I was body double, whether I was a hand double, whether I was a voiceover. I did all of that, and I had great representation. But because I was always about the work, I didn't go to the after parties. There's nothing wrong in going to the after parties. I just didn't want to go. I just wasn't feeling it like that. I was always about the work. And so I realized Hollywood has a clique. Hollywood what? Hollywood has a clique. Somebody said, for me, this clique you're talking about, it really is the Illuminati. And I hated to agree with him or her. But I had to look at it and say to myself, upon reflection, why would you go to an SNL red carpet event, husband and wife, after you have been essayed? And it's an ongoing situation, of which, might I add, people are throwing bits and bobs in there to say we don't believe it all the way. And you have the audacity and the arrogance to make fun of it. Everything that Blake has done has had holes in every single part of this story. I'm getting there. Why, for me, you ask? I tell you why. Because she never planned to follow through. All of this was a bluff with Sony. She said to Sony, if I don't get what I want, I will not promote the film. I will not do all of the publicity. And I will go out there, because she knew that she had New York right there. She had the publishing right there to say that she was SA'd by Justin Baldoni. New York Times. That's what I'm referring to the New York Times. And so she called what? Their bluff. I think they gave in to her, but before they gave in to her, she said, you know what, let me go to New York Times. And that was why she went over there and she filed the dispute with California. But when it got into the papers, they were like, why are you filing a complaint? Why are you not actually having a lawsuit? She had no plans. She had no plans to do that, because she just thought, I'll file it and then everybody will go away, because she never expected what? Justin to fight back. She didn't know. I'm almost certain she did not know that his millionaire investor would actually stand by him through thick and thin. She did not think that she would even that she would even get the lawyer that he has. She did not think of any of that, because this has happened so many times and she got away with it. It didn't occur to her. Once you start to lie, Mama always told me this, the first lie is going to be the lie that you're going to have to tell an extra 100 to protect that first lie. And so we are here today. And let me come on onto the first page, and let me just make this bigger. There you go. Blake Lively says that she has 2 unnamed female co-stars who spoke up about Justin Baldoni's alleged behavior, and they will testify. We already know who those 2 are, but let us read first. Blake Lively's latest court documents in her ongoing legal battle with Justin Baldoni claim 2 of her female co-stars on It Ends With Us have agreed to testify to their own experiences with Baldoni's alleged behavior on set. Lively, 37, filed an amended complaint against Baldoni 14, New York Federal Court late of Tuesday, February 18th. Her legal team chose not to name certain witnesses in order to protect innocent bystanders rather than exposing them to further harm amid the dangerous climate of threats, harassment, intimidation surrounding the case, the complaint reads. However, the witness gave Lively permission to share the substance of their communications, they say, and agreed they will testify and produce responsive documents in the discovery process. According to the amended complaint, Lively and other women on the movie set documented their experiences with Baldoni alleged behavior as early as May of 2023 while the film was still in production. The complaint states that Lively's first reported her concerns regarding unwelcome and inappropriate behavior by Baldoni and his Wayfair Studios co-chief, Jamie Heath. And she's referring to the picture of Jamie and his wife with this beautiful home birth. I saw the picture and I could not believe, with a clear conscience and a mother of 4, you would do that to another woman. And when I say another woman, I'm not talking about James. I'm talking about James's Heath wife, because you know that she has seen and heard what Blake thought of the birth. To Sony executive, he complained to the Sony executive on May 26th of 2023. It also alleges that another female cast member reported her own concerns regarding Mr. Baldoni's unwelcome behavior to that some Sony executive and another producer. The amended complaint also claims that Baldoni responded to that unnamed female cast member in writing, acknowledging that he was aware of her concerns and that adjustments would be made on the 1st of June 2023, and that by June 8th, 2023, that same female cast member went to Lively herself to share. That's very odd to me, because Lively is not a producer, director, she's not the head. She might have gone to Blake, allegedly, if it did happen, to share as in sisterhood. So what I want to know is that, what did Blake tell her? But again, let's keep the questions until we finish, yeah? Okie dokie. Her underwhelming amended complaint is filled with unsubstantial, oh my God, I'm blanking out. Unsubstantial, there we go, unsubstantial hearsay of unnamed persons who are clearly no longer willing to come forward or publicly support her claims, he added. Since documents do not lie and people do, the upcoming depositions of those who initially supported Ms. Lively's claims, false claims, and those who are witnesses to her own behavior will be enlightening. What is truly uncomfortable here is Ms. Lively's lack of actual evidence. Lively's amended complaint comes as an update to her original December 2024 lawsuit against Baldoni, another involved in It Ends With Us. As her lawyers Ursa Hudson and Mike Gottlieb said in a statement, that the new version provides significant additional evidence and corroboration of her original claims and includes previous oh my God, undisclosed communications involving Lively, Sony, Wayfair Studios, and numerous other witnesses. The complaint also claims that a female cast member on It Ends With Us wrote to Lively as late as 14th of August 2024, days after the film released in theaters, to ask Lively whether she knew if Sony could help her address the cyberbullying she was experiencing was getting nastier and more difficult to cope with by the day. Lively and Baldoni are currently set to go to trial in civil court on March 9th, 2026. Attorneys for both sides most recently indicated in a February 13th letter filed in New York Federal Court on the 13th of February that engaging settlement talks at this stage would prove inappropriate and premature. You're absolutely right. I thought that it was a good idea to settle. It is not a good idea to settle because at this stage, I'm kind of cheesed off. I'm cheesed off with the whole Blake party, and they have to apologize. They have to apologize to Justin for smearing his name and calling him a predator, of which truly he is not. These are all things that they brought in together to try to push him into a corner. And you know how in any community, in any neighborhood, if you have a child do, you have to be listed so that everybody knows who you are. It is serious. It is serious. Until this very day, we don't have stone cold proof like Justin, who came up and said that these are all of the documents, put it on file, put it onto a website and said, see for yourself. Blake has not done any of that. Baldoni previously amended his own countersuit against Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and their publicist, which he published on a website for his followers in his, I can't see this part, in his something because of the, I've got a slide in front of me, so I can't see it. But we know that he has the website. Later, another female cast member confided to Miss Lively that she too felt uncomfortable. Do you see how it's worded with the me too? She too. Why didn't they just say two women came to Lively and said, you know what, we felt uncomfortable because he did A, B, and C. But you know what, we peep it. We're not silly. Felt uncomfortable on set, the amended complete reads. All of this occurred and was documented in writing almost 1 year before the editing of the film began. Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, said in a statement, February 19th, our clients have been transparent in providing receipts, real-time documents, and video showing a completely different story that was completely different story than what has been manipulated and cherry-picked to the media. Our clients have taken this matter and these issues were seriously, notwithstanding the jokes made publicly by the plaintiff. And he's talking about the NSL when Ryan stood up and made a joke, of which now we know he took part in writing. It's just so bizarre to me that you would do something like that. Why? I'll tell you why. Because of ego. Because I am above this. I still have friends in the industry, in the business that support us, which is not the case because there were a lot of people who wanted to distance themselves from this because there has become a stain in the industry or, and it's just coming to me now, or Ryan, you're going to mess this up for everybody. Why don't you be quiet? But his ego will not. Will not what? It won't allow him. So let us go now. And who do we have? Let me see, Justin and Blake. And then we have Jenny. And then we also have Miss Ferreira. And she played whom? She played the young Lily Bloom. These are the two witnesses because they're the two female celebrities of the two female actors that were in the film It Ends With Us. And Hollywood Reporter has outed that they are the ones that are going to step up and testify on Blake's behalf. You know what I just found out the other day, and it's sad. Isabella was cherry-picked, and I'm going to say allegedly again. Isabella was cherry-picked, and I'm going to put it to the side just for 1 minute. I modeled for years. Let me put that up. Yeah, I modeled for years, and when we went for auditions, everybody was 5'9", and we were 120 pounds, 120, 115 pounds, very light. But what I'm saying is that when it came for the runways, fashion, whatever, you would have, in this very Manhattan, you would have hundreds of girls who were 5'9", 10, 11, whatever, and all of us were skinny. You could not tell one from the other, only by personality, which meant that you would do a little bit extra. So you were really you were smiley, you talked to the casting, you know, you talked about what? You talked about yourself. I bring this up because, and I know this for a fact because of the audition process. When they were auditioning for the young Lily Bloom, Isabella Ferreira was one that they looked at above the others that were close contenders. Are you with me? Okay. So it becomes a situation where people come back and say, did you like Isabella? What do you think about her? And then you have another casting, which is smaller because they've narrowed down the numbers from maybe 30 girls to 15 girls to 5. Yeah. Again, I told you how Blake, she sniffs them out. Those that are vulnerable, those that don't have family members around. Isabella is an only child. She does not have brothers or sisters. I say that personally because Adrian, my son, is an only child. And I sometimes wonder, oof, for me, shouldn't he have a sibling? And I know the vulnerability also of being an only child. She was 23 when she was cast for this film. And she was love bombed by Blake Lively, knowing very well that her eyes would be as open as saucers, and then threw in for the added bait to say that homegirl was her bestie from all over. And what happened? Isabel took it all in. And I'm referring to Taylor Swift. So what? Isabella will do everything and anything for Blake. Yeah? Can we agree to that? Here's the thing. When Blake released this or took it to the New York Times and said all of these things, why didn't the two women stand in solidarity and unison and say, it happened to me too? Why did they keep quiet? Why is it that Blake literally has to go sourcing them out at this last hour to say, if you need me, then I will stand up in support of you? No, it should be, I want to stand up for me because it happened to me. Allegedly, you know why? Because it didn't happen. Because simple human psychosis, the way that we behave as humans, if something happened to you on set that rubbed you up the wrong way, you're not coming on time, your entire energy is off, you're crying, you're triggered every single time. Isabella is young enough where she would not know what to do. She wouldn't. And Isabella, I am telling you right now, Auntie Fumi, yap, you're going to ruin your career if you do this. Because the Taylor Swift of whom you live and love and admired and looked up to, and you were under the impression that, you know what, she had a big part in casting, which could be true because I know that, well, allegedly, that Taylor Swift had a big hand in this. She's left. Taylor said, I have no parts. I've come too far and I can't ruin my brand. I can't ruin my career for you, Blake. Because Blakey Pooh, you are not all that. Blake saw Justin's film. She didn't even read the book. And she said to herself, this one will make me a star. It will revive a dead career. It will give me a career that I never had. This book is going to do it. But Justin did all of the hard work. And she tried to bully and push her way, of which she's also, because love bombing is also bullying. It might feel nice, but it's to coerce you into yet what? Another direction. Of the direction of which I want you to go, by the way. And that is what Isabella, this is her first film. Might be her last. But she is absolutely flawless to be my little buffer. And you know what, Isabella, I'm going to tell you this. Quiet as it's kept. Facts. She has thrown you in front of the firing squad. She will get rid of you in order to save her. Because you're young, you don't have the experience, and Isabella, you feel that you owe her because of the clothes and the shoes, even the film. You're not aware yet that you have earned yourself to be in this film. You still think, because of the way she planned it and placed it for you, that you owe her. That's what all of this is. And nobody is telling you the truth but me. I am telling you the truth. Come out of this, turn around, and get out of there. Because Blake and her husband, Lionel Reynolds, wanted this film because they wanted the sequels. This was big. This film is big. It's become bigger. Even Colleen Hoover came back onto Instagram and she deleted all of the pictures, all of the footage, everything that she had with Blake. She's unfollowed Justin. That's not a problem. She already did that before, but she's shown through her actions, I think I jumped the gun and I don't want any parts. Yeah. Jenny Slate. Jenny Slate played her kind of, would I say, sister-in-law. She was her friend that shared the flower shop with her. And Jenny Slate's character was a sister to Justin Baldoni's main character. That was the other lady. Comedian, don't really know her. Let me just pull her up. There we go. Hold on. There you go. Beautiful picture, beautiful, flowery picture, gorgeous. She's a little bit older. She's been in this industry for a minute. Why didn't you say anything? And why are you saying something now? Allegedly. Why is it that it has to come out from the Hollywood Reporter? Why is it that she said, I'm going to amend my complaint? And there was nothing really amended. Talking about, well, my children are traumatized. But Justin has 2 children too that absolutely are traumatized. You didn't think of that? She didn't think of anything. I am absolutely certain this went too far. It's like the boy who cried wolf. And so she called the bluff. That was all this was supposed to be. And it got out of hand because the little boy of whom she thought she could shoo away came right up and said, not today. You won't take my life. You won't take my career, because Justin lost everything in a week. He lost everything in a week. His agency, William Morris and Endeavor, they dropped him like a hat. He had an award. It was rescinded ASAP. He was to direct the film Pac-Man. He lost that too. In the face of his wonderful wife, by the way, who told him to start recording everything. That was how he had the receipts. It was his wife. If Blake, let us hypothetically say, if Blake had anything substantial, anything at all, do you not think that she would have put it in the amendment that came in a few minutes before midnight on the 18th of this month? Because the Judge Lyman gave them 1 day. Monday happened to be a holiday, so it fell on the 18th. She had all that time, and it was right on the neck, because she was still trying to sway her two non-existent witnesses on the set. Let's even move forward from that. Justin's character, even though he is the director, what parts did he play with young Lily Bloom, apart from directing her, apart from the fact that he would have had no physical proximity contact with herself or Jenny Slate? Just asking. There are so many holes in this story. It's a fishing net. That's what this is. It's nothing short of a fishing net. And I don't know anybody, Brian Friedman said it, I don't know anybody who would have gone through that kind of experience and you will go onto the red carpet. Something else also came to my mind as a woman that has had a child. In the first few months, you're not yourself. Your hormones are flying all over the place. You don't feel alluring. You don't. You're breastfeeding, nothing fits. You're wearing big belly panties because you are taking care of a newborn, not an infant, but a newborn. Do you know what occurred to me? Because it's right there in the text. She told Justin to come and see her because she was breastfeeding the baby. It meant that she was comfortable being with him alone, being alone with him while she was breastfeeding her newborn, of which and whom you protect above all else. Forget her for 1 second. This is just human psychosis. When I was with Adrian, especially when he was new, just born, I did not even want him to be outside. Drop it in the comments if that was how you were when you had your children. The only time I took Adrian out, and I think that was 3rd week, was to go and get his passport. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have taken him out. And as a matter of fact, when he came home, that was it for like a month. Before I had him, I remembered somebody says you're at home for 40 days. I was happy to do the 40 days, not for me, but because I didn't want to take my child out. Blake has had 4 children. And while we're on the subject, because of the narcissism of what Ryan showed me, to stand up and, joke about something that happened to his wife, I realized hurt people hurt. That also Blake goes through this dominance at home. She doesn't have a say with Ryan. Ryan will also go ahead and do what he wants to do. And he cannot stand he cannot stand Justin for a multitude of things. What are the multitude of things for me? I'll start from the beginning. When they started the film together, Justin was the one that reached out to Ryan because Justin didn't have an ego. And he wanted to let Ryan know, I am married, I have my own children. Out of respect, I want you to be comfortable knowing I'm working with your wife, and that's it. He showed his hand first. And Ryan was like, yes, I'm excited that you're working with Blake. You know, I'm excited for her to open up her creative piggy bank, of which there's none, never have been. She's never had anything like that. She's only climbed onto others and taken their own projects for themselves, because the $1 million question has been there. Why don't they do their own projects? Why don't they do their own films? Obama said it the other day. It was a skit that I saw on the Instagram feed. He said, when you get to eat at the table, you will realize that these big wigs are not all that. And some of them are still fools. And that's very nerve-wracking, because these are fools that are ruling countries. His word verbatim. If I find it, I'll put it up for the next live tomorrow so that, you know, we can continue from there. And so what is this? Blake and Lively, they don't, Blake and Lively, Ryan and Blake have no creative juices. And you know what tells me also? That they might have been good at a film. They might have been great at a show. They might have been good for this TV show because they fit that character per se. Everything else is smoke and mirrors. Everything else is what? Because very few actors do Broadway and theater. Why? It's live. It's every night. And they don't even know how to improv if they miss their lines. They get all flustered and they can't continue. You see how I flustered over a word? I can't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. Keep going. It's not important. You only make it important. And you make it important when your image is a lie. Because everything has been rubbed shiny clean by the PR agencies, by the PR squad. And that was why when it did fall into Blake's hands, where she was able to bully and say, I want this, I'm going to take that, I want to do the wardrobe, I want to do the wardrobe for the character Lily Blossom Bloom. It was a heart-smoking mess, because Lily Blossom Bloom cannot and would not have been carrying a Valentino bag. I saw it, I was like, that does not make sense. And so many other pieces, because she bought those pieces for herself. Whether she returned it to wardrobe, I don't know. But for a film to have over $600,000 spent on wardrobe is crazy. When this was not Sex and the City 3. It's crazy. But that was what Blake was doing. She wasn't as good as they were blowing their own trumpet, because in Hollywood, you have a lot of yes people because of money. It all boils down to money. That is why the Blake's and Ryan's agent, so unprofessional. Forget about everything else. Saying, oh, I don't know Justin's name, but Baldoni, Waldoni, but this, I don't know his name. That is just the level of betrayal on the highest degree, because Justin Baldoni was also represented at that agency. And you know what's funny, and this I know, all of the money that they donate is written off. They're not donating it. They are not donating anything that they're not getting back tenfold. Do you think that they donate to all of these charities without having their name called out, without having their name on a building or whatever? All of this is systematic. And so the agent, Ari, I think that's his name. So unprofessional, but it's all about money. And as Mace went to go and tell Diddy, not all money is good money. But the day does come, and the day is here, when your money can only go so far. Blake, Plantation Khaleesi didn't see her coming. And Justin is right at her throat. Payback for all the other Justins that did not get this far. That's what this is. It is playing out like a song, and it's unbelievable because of the twists and turns, because Khaleesi cannot let go of the first lie. Because if she lets go of the first lie, which is that Justin essayed her to an extent, then the career is finished. The career is finished, but she has her lie people around her telling her that the Titanic will somehow roll on its belly and will stay afloat. Guess what? You're all going to sink right down to the ground. And it's gotten tarantulas and it's dragging other people in it. People that we did not know, people that I did not know behind the scenes, because I'm getting all of the tea and I'm going to bring it back to you. That's what this has come about. And that, because you see here, why would Ryman and Blake walk on a red carpet if they were not permitted and allowed? They should have said there are no dragons here. Nobody stood up for Justin. It doesn't matter if you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything in the face of a lie, so you co-signed the lie. That's how I look at it. And why am I so invested? Because I did not know Justin Baldoni. I did not. I saw him on the television show The Real. I think it was The Real. I think it's discontinued now. And I just thought, nice guy. And I had my, computer, phone, whatever, and I was in the kitchen doing my thing. I didn't think anything of it, but I just thought, nice guy. He was really, about, he opened up himself. And I thought that was quite new. And I thought, well, you know what? He's a feminist, this, that. And I didn't think anything of it. And Fumi Nation, you brought it to my table about 30, 40 times. That's when I began to pay attention. And I said, what is this? And I said, let me do my research so that I understand what I'm talking about. And I'm a woman's woman. So I was invested and I read Blake's story. Well, it was only Blake's story that was out there. And when they said Justin Baldoni, I said, Justin Baldoni, why do I know that name? I didn't know his name. I knew his face. So when I saw his face, I said to myself, I don't know. Is it not this guy? It doesn't make sense, because there was a snippet in the television show, The Real. Who was it? One of them had a baby. One of them had a baby. And Justin said, how are you doing? And you're back to work so soon, something like that. And I was saying to myself, oh, he must be really in tune with his wife. He understands the dynamics about having children at home. You've got to get yourself together. Sometimes you got to push. I was in labor for 4 days. And I was going around the other pregnant women in the ward. And I was the oldest. And they said, oh my God. And I was 49. And there were some of them that were so young. I think there was another woman, mother to be, who was 23 and another 28. And I've never said this, but I'm going to say it today. And she was in such pain. And I was telling her, you have to roll over, you have to. And I was walking because I was trying to get Adrian out. And Adrian just would not come out. And I ended up breastfeeding her baby. Because once the baby was born, sometimes it happens, you get your ducks just, clack up. I breastfed Adrian and I breastfed her own baby. And she was there crying. And there are 20 years between us. Giving birth really takes a toll on the body. It does. So, Blake, you talking about that you were essayed. You have to come with hard, concrete evidence, because that's the only thing I know where no matter what side you're on in anything, we do come and stand and say that is not okay. At the same time, I am for truth. Why did you bring these two women into your amendment? Why? To solidify yet again a lie on top of a lie on top of another lie. Because if it happened, they would stand 10 toes deep in what had happened to them. Forget you. It's just that it all happened to us, okay. But you kept on coming to work. You didn't file the lawsuit. We saw the video. These were two actors that were playing a love scene. I have done extra work and I recommend it to everybody. I went to the actor studio in New York to study film, which was phenomenal. But when I tell you, it was really nothing compared to me being invisible on a film set to see what the producer, the director, everybody on set, the body double, the stand-in, actors coming on set late, the ones that were great actors, and the ones that were fluff. I saw them all. I saw them all, and I studied. And I studied the art of film, television, live shows. Even when they did the SNL, and they were laughing at Ryan's joke, nobody was laughing. You know what that was? They call them laughers. And that's what you have. Laughers that will laugh for 30 minutes. And you have good on laughers. Yes, it's all a talent. Hollywood is all smoke and mirrors. I've seen it. And so he had the gall to say, you know what, let's go out there. Let us show that, you know what, everything's okay with us because we've got the money, we've got the name. Who is this Justin Baldoni? Because they're circulating around. They forget, or they're not aware. More importantly, they're not aware. It's no longer CNN, NBC, CBS, ABC. It's no longer that. It is YouTube, Instagram, and what, TikTok, because the TikTokers, oh my God, they're out here, and everybody now is putting out their own opinion of what they see. It's no longer when you waited to get your Essence magazine every 30 days before you can even say anything. And if you did, it was to your neighbor. Nothing, nobody had a voice. Well, that has changed, but they have not changed the way Hollywood is, the PR team, the publicity team, and this is the old guard, and it's going. You know why? Because it's breaking down. Have you noticed with the Diddy and all of this, everything is crumbling down, and we are actually seeing there's nothing there. All of this was smoke and mirrors. And I'm going to add to it. You see, the TikTokers, YouTubers, Instagrammers, they have 100 times, 10 times the talent that the actors have with no budget at all, just raw talent. Yes, they do. You know what it takes to get all of the information, to remember all of the names, to come out here every single day, raw on. These actors can't do it. That is why when you see actors that do theater, Viola Davis, ultimate respect, not maximum, the ultimate respect, because not everybody can hit to that standard. Put Blake in the theater, just one line. Let me see how you're going to do. Instead, you're complaining, you're so conceited. Again, you're tone deaf because everybody, your publicity machine, they just scrubbed off all of these little negative comments that you had. But what happened was that my Norwegian sister, Chester Floor, who had the interview with you, Blake, this is what set it off in 2016. She has her own YouTube channel, which is doing phenomenally well. And so she's a celebrity journalist. And it was a press junket. It was a press junket of where you sit down as an actor and then they come in through. They come right through. Oh, I'm in a hotel room. I haven't even shown you. Let me just show you a little bit. Here we are. I should have given you a tour. And so, one press Press magazine, newspaper, they come in, they ask you questions. You might be tired, but you know what? You're pushing the film, of which they paid Homegirl, I think $3 million for. And you were rude. That had nothing to do with Justin. And you didn't understand the bad press. Why? Because your publicity could not in any way, shape, or form have any control over it. Because this was brand spanking new. Where did this come from? And how can we get it scrubbed off? And Kirsty told me that she was just, you know, fed up with it and she was doing her own thing. And then she just put it up. It had nothing to do with what was going on with Blake. Nothing. But you see, that's what you call the perfect storm. Because Blake, do you know that this is the end of you? Hollywood, the way that we saw it and the way that we thought it, the way that we looked up to it, is gone. This, my darling, is the mourning period for those in Hollywood. It's over. It's over and it's done. That's all I can say. Let me respond to some comments because I am going to get dressed for our event. Hello, my darling Susan Lusk. You are so appreciated. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate you, my darling. I truly, truly appreciate you, my love. Okay, let me come all the way up. I'll be back here tomorrow. She was groomed by predators. She needs to reach out to Baldoni's lawyer, but I agree. She's a lamb for the slaughter. I hope that you're talking about, what does she call herself now? Ferreira. Yes, I truly, 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 absolutely believe that she was cherry-picked. And when they found out that she was an only child, because they tell you, talk about yourself, you know, where you're from, what city, this, that, and the third. And they're like, you know what, she got nobody out here. We're going to love bomb on her and she's going to cling to us. Why? Because she doesn't have anybody. We're going to be her family. We're going to give her more than anything and everything. And so she was wearing Blake's shoes on the red carpet. She said it herself. And so the loyalty that she feels to Blake is steadfast. She will not break that until somebody tells her that this will ruin your career. And you know what is heartbreaking? You know what is heartbreaking? Baby girl will not even, I'm so sorry. That's New York for you. Helen, I have to call you back. I am live now with Fulmination. Yes. It's my assistant. You know what is sad? Helen, I'll call you back. You know what is sad? She is fully unaware that her career will go down the tubes. And even if her career goes down the tubes, my God, I am so sorry. Helen, I think she called me by mistake. And that is it, my darlings. I think she wants me right now, but let me just finish. It's New York. I think they want me to come to the event, but I want to finish with you guys first, okay? Hi, Fumi. How are you guys? Gorgeous. I'll see you at the event. Okay. Well, that is it, my darlings. Let me go, and you let me know what you think down in the comment section, and I will be back tomorrow. There's nothing you can do. Nothing. All of my love. Let me decline it right there. All of my love. Bye-bye.